Go ahead.
Hey kids, Mrs. Broderick here. So we miss you very much, and maybe Miss Zychek's taping. You can see the room still here. We're just trying to get read up, and me and Mrs. Zychek and Mr. Sott thought, well, hey, while we're doing that, maybe we'll go through dissection. Sorry you guys are gonna miss dissection this year, but this is the closest we can get you to it. So this is the earthworm. So these are the earthworms that you would be dissecting in class. They're much larger than earthworms that we know, you see out on the street after a rain. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of go through so that you can see what a dissection would look like. You will probably do dissection when you get into what? What do you say, Mrs. Zychek? 10th?
10th grade.
10th grade?
We hope.
Yeah, maybe, we'll see. But this is essentially what you guys are gonna be doing. Okay, so we're gonna take, oh, did you all miss the bells? You missed the bells, huh? Okay, so we're gonna take the earthworm, and there's a couple things you need to know first. One, there's two sides to an earthworm. There's the dorsal, which is darker, which is the top. And then there's the ventral, which is lighter, and it has these little hairs on it called setae. And we won't have to get into them, but that helps them crawl through the ground. So when we go and we're gonna cut our earthworm, so this is a big one. We are gonna go and we are gonna cut on the dorsal side, okay? So, can they see this, Miss Zychek? I'm gonna put a pin right through the head area of the earthworm, and then I'm gonna go and put a pin. Well, we don't need all of this earthworm, so we're just gonna go make an incision about 2 inches below and cut that off. I'm gonna take another pin, and I'm gonna pin more towards the bottom. So this is just the part we're gonna look at. This part of the earthworm is all intestine and the anus. So this is all just one kind of organ. We wanna look at all the organs. Now, I'm not the greatest, so I actually have to take the earthworm in my hand to cut. What about you, Ms. Zychek? Do you? Okay. So I'm gonna go and I'm going to take my scissors. Can you guys see this? Can they see that? Right here, I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna cut all the way to the head. So I'm gonna stick my scissors in, and I'm gonna cut up. It's kind of like cutting a gummy worm. It's kind of plasticky. And it's full of lovely stuff. You'll all love the stuff you'll see on the inside. And I'm gonna cut all the way up dorsally, like a dorsal fin of a fish, to the top. Next, I'm gonna go and I'm going to take, these are called T-pins. You use these in dissection. And these are used to open up the specimen. So I'm gonna use the T-pins and open this worm up. Okay. All right. Oh man, you know what I did down there, Miss Zychek, huh? Oops. I cut into the intestines. All right, that's enough. So I'm gonna go in here. And you guys can see that there's some organs that are coming about. Is it easier if I hold it up, Ms. Zychek?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna take my knife and I'm going to cut this peritoneum, which is what holds all the organs in the right places. All right, it's pretty good. And this is what the inside of the earthworm is gonna look like. Now, if we were in school, you guys would have to know these, but you might have to know these for your quiz, so I would pay close attention. At the very beginning, we have what's known as a, oh, what is it?
Prostomium.
Thank you. I was going to say peritoneum again. Prostomium, which is an upper lip, which goes into the mouth. And as we travel down, we hit this part, which is the esophagus. Oh, the pharynx. I need my paper. Pharynx. And this is a tough part that helps push the food down because it doesn't really have a mouth. It goes into the esophagus. And I'm just going to keep doing the digestive system. We go into the crop. The esophagus empties into the crop. And then we go into this very muscular part called the gizzard, which grinds the food. And then we have the intestines. The intestines are there to take all of the nutrients and water out of the food. And you can see I cut the intestines down here. And guess what earthworm poop is? It's just dirt. So this is all dirt. This part we cut off is just all intestines and anus. Let's go back up and let's look. See these little dark parts here? These are what are called the aortic arches. And these are going to be the hearts or the pumpers for the worm. They're connected to two blood vessels. One is called the dorsal blood vessel and the other is the ventral blood vessel. And they carry and take blood away from the body to the heart, from the heart to the body. As we move down, you'll see these kind of white parts. And these parts are part of the reproductive organs. The big parts are the seminal receptacles, vesicles? Seminal vesicles are the big ones. And this is where it's going to store its own sperm. The seminal receptacles are, here's one. Here's a little guy right here next to the heart. This is going to hold on to any sperm it shares with another worm. Now, all earthworms are considered hermaphroditic, which means they have both male and female parts. The ovaries are extremely hard. We're not going to be able to see them today, but they're in here too. And that's an evolutionary advantage to have both male and female parts because then you don't need a mate to go and have a baby. So if they're in the dirt, then it's totally fine. And if they can mate with themselves, if necessary. They do want to mate with other animals and they may lay their sperm or eggs in the dirt, but if they have to, they can mate with themselves. What else am I? Oh, the scutellum. Should I show the map? Here's a scutellum. And this is on the outside. That's probably the meaty part where you put your hook when you're going to go fishing. But mainly this is worm dissection. And this is what it looks like. This is what you guys would be doing with gloves though. Maybe just keep watching and there might be a little video on or a quiz on this. All right. Take care, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.